I'm Todd Studer, and this is Knock Talk, presented by FMTC.
From family movie nights to epic game battles to working from home, FMTC has been connecting Southwest Iowa for 125 years thanks to you. We're your neighbors and friends, and we care about serving our communities. That's why we continue to build the communication future. FMTC, celebrating 125 years of local service. Stay connected, explore what's possible, and celebrate with us.
Back with another episode of Knock Talk. In studio today, we have Alan DeBolt, who is back in with us, and we also welcome back in Thomas Bates on this episode. I believe we're on episode 4.
Episode 4.
And we are just cranking these out, and this has been a lot of fun for me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm having a ball.
Well, after flying up here today to get here, that was an interesting piece, but I'm here and this is exciting, so let's go.
Let's go. We're going to learn a little more today about Installation Day and what happens. So they signed up before, the lines are run to the house or business, and everybody is excited and they're ready to see the new fiber coming into the building and what happens at that point. And I don't know how complicated this is from your guys' standpoint.
Well, I think Thomas is the guy that's going to give you all the information about that because I'm behind the scenes. Thomas is out there. He's the forefront guy, so I'm going to let him kind of reach out to that.
All right, well, let's learn a little bit more about this. So at the point that everything's done and you're headed out there and we need to get everything installed in the house, right?
Yep. So everything's done outside. The office, has got their checklist done. They're like, okay, we're ready for install. They're going to call. They're going to make that appointment with you. You're going to come out. One of our guys will come out and see you. I could be it. It could be one of the other 12 of us outside plant guys. So we'll come out. At that point, we're going to double check everything while we're there just to make sure we're good. And we're going to have our equipment ready to plug and play. So when I say plug and play, that means that we have already programmed this equipment to fit your needs, what you signed up for, what you have. And then we'll get it plugged in, we'll get it up and working, and we're going to run our tests. We're going to make sure it is doing the speeds, the latency, the packets, what we said when we sold it to you. Once that's done, we're going to work with you. This is the time where it's probably going to be, what do you want your network name? What do you want your password to be? We'll get that stuff programmed. We'll get you a card so you can keep that, in your keepsakes. And then we're going to ask you what devices you have.
First thing that pops into my mind with that is how unique have people gotten with what they want it called?
Yes. Anything you can imagine, it's been done. Everybody thinks they're funny when they tell me FBI surveillance van and all this stuff, and it's like I've heard it all when it comes to it, and I'll make it whatever you want it to be. So
yeah, that is actually at my girlfriend's house, that exact one.
Yeah.
So her kids came up with that.
Yep. Nope. So I've heard it all, and honestly, it just comes something that you're going to remember and that no one else can, break into it.
I'll bet I got something unique for you.
Okay.
This was at a radio network in Denver, and the tech guys were working on something. And what they came up with was, my dog likes hats.
No, I haven't done that one quite yet.
Okay, so you're getting everything dialed in and obviously doing the troubleshooting. Is it common to have to continue to make adjustments to make things work? How often is it just plug in, you do the test, and everything's just working great?
I probably won't give percentages on that, but most of the time we're in and out in probably 30 minutes with you.
That fast?
Yes. We try not to take up your day. This is the second time you've had to meet us. We want to get things up and working. We want to answer your questions, and we want to get out of your hair. That's what it comes down to. Now, there is certain situations where in our pre-checks that we find something we want to fix, make right, and it does take time for us to get a hold of the guys in the office, to make them changes. So it's not something I would tell you that promise you we'll be in and out in 30 minutes, but a lot of times we are.
So here's a new slogan for you. We're going to do our best to keep you from remembering our face.
That's a great way to put it.
Because you want to get there and get done as quickly as you can and let folks get back to their lives. And that ties back into what we talked about on a previous episode of respecting their home and understanding that you are in someone else's space right now, and it's important to respect that. And that's part of it, is not wasting time.
Yes. Nope. And once we get it up and working, we're going to want to know what devices you want to get hooked up. And that kind of becomes a complicated question on everything that's hooked up in a household nowadays.
That's also pretty much all of these things have passwords and things like that, right? So finding a password that you can remember but is still unique enough that is not easily hacked and that kind of thing.
Yep.
There's a balance there.
There is a balance to that. And, also it comes to how many devices are you going to need, passwords to be put in for. So it's picking two things. It's picking something that's not going to be hacked and, someone gets your password, but it's also how many TVs do you want to put a 24-character password in also. So there's a happy medium to it. And
is it? I'm old school, and I'm still on my remote, and pushing buttons over and scrolling all the way across. And why they don't put a keyboard on a remote is beyond me.
Right. Yes.
So it's when they're alphabetical or they look like the keyboards on a computer, and then it throws you for a whole nother loop trying to get the difference between those.
Oh,
also.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a different problem altogether.
Yeah.
And, we think we're being clever by capitalizing a letter here or there, and then we forget what it is. And then we're either changing it or calling for password recovery or whatever the case may be. These real world problems that we have
yes.
here.
And you bring up password recovery, and that's another good step is we have an app called the FMTC Connect app that we can help get you connected with when we're there. And it's not something you have to make our service work. It's just something that comes along with our service if you want to, have a little more access into your devices. It gives you the chance to look in at what your password was. You can change it to something else if you want it to be. You can see what devices are on your network. And I have found out it's really helpful with families with small children, because you can see all the devices, and let's say it's time to go bed at 9 o'clock, we can turn the internet off.
That is actually very handy.
Yes.
So I'm assuming too, as I'm sitting here and I'm saying, well, that's actually pretty cool. Probably not the first time you've heard that.
No, but I also then turn into, well, I can mess with my spouse in this chance also, so don't tell them about the app.
Thomas, a little bit about that. So if I have a child that has a certain device and they're using that up until a certain time, can I turn off only that device, or am I turning off the whole network? How does that work?
No, so you can turn it off. You can create people in your house in this app, and you can have that these are my first kids, devices that they use, and here's my second kids, and you can turn the devices off by person, in that house when that time comes in the evening. Like I state, you do not have to have this app to make the service work. There's a lot of people that don't have it. They don't care for another app on their phone or another notification that comes up. Our service works with it or without it. It's just another asset we try to give you for having our service.
Well, for some people, it's not necessary.
Right.
I mean, if it's just them or them and their spouse or just not enough people to really have to be concerned about it, then, you don't have to worry about that. But that's not the case with everybody.
No.
I mean, and you need to be able to meet people where they are.
Yep. And we have other upgraded services that go along with that app with higher speeds and higher packages of, protection into cybersecurity and being able to block websites and stuff like that. Also, if that, you want to take it to the next step, that we do offer.
That cybersecurity part, that's huge, because there's so many things that are out there. I get, I'll be looking at a news story or something, and all of a sudden something will pop up on my screen and said, oh, your phone has just been compromised, and all this other, trying to get me to click on something, and I can't get it closed. And so having something for the devices that is going to help combat that a little bit, because they're very sophisticated and things can sneak through.
Yes. Yep. And it's getting to the point, it's amazing how well that even they can take our logo and make something look so real, like it's coming from us on an email or platform along them lines, that, you know, it's somebody else, you know, trying to scam you, trying to get, you know, confidential information, credit cards, social security numbers, stuff like that.
How much of your job after you get the installation done is having these conversations with a new customer?
And that's where it comes the second part, is most of the installation time of 30 minutes is working with the customer. It's not getting the equipment plugged in and up and working. It's a lot of times, you know, answering the questions you have, setting them up with things to help them use their internet. And we go back to getting your devices hooked up, because you'd be surprised the amount of things in your home that use the internet.
Oh, I'm aware.
And I was just thinking about that too. You know, if you go down all of the different devices that are actually using the internet today, you're helping people get their connectivity together, getting everything synced up and working. What are some of the most difficult pieces of that?
You know, it comes to whether it's something that you get the internet put in, or the password and stuff put in on the device itself, or do you have an app or another computer that manages this device that we need to make that change on? When it comes into devices wise, I mean, it could be something simple as your TVs, your iPads, computers, your PlayStations, Xboxes, stuff like that. Or it can be as wild as thing as light switches and your washer and your stove, or your birdhouse that's in the yard that tells you what bird flew into it. You would be surprised.
I have that app on my phone. It's not connected to a birdhouse, but I love that thing.
Now,
Yeah.
do you have the refrigerator that tells you when you're low on milk and you need to, you need to get more milk?
No, apparently I need to go to the store. I need to go get. I have to have that in my life.
Yeah. It's interesting. A lot of people do, though.
Well, how many times does it happen that you see something you haven't seen before when it comes to those devices? Because as you said, everything seems to be connected to the internet now, and even if they don't have it yet, it is available. So are you running into new things?
On a daily basis. Yep. You run into new things, and it might not be new ideas of equipment, but it's new people that make them. You know, there's so many people, you know, it's not just your Samsungs and your Apples and stuff like that anymore. There's so many other brands out there, and they all have their unique way on how they want to be, you know, adjusted to a new network.
And for you, it's kind of expected that you're going to have this knowledge when you go in, even though this may be something new for you.
We got to learn on the. That is the best way of saying learning on the job is, you know, you don't see all those devices every day, and there's no handbook written how to do this stuff. So we do our best to, you know, help you and assist you out with getting them hooked to the internet.
Anything with a Temu label on it?
We won't go down that road.
Yeah, there's and obviously with varying degrees of their own security that's inside of them that you have to be able to get through and operate inside of those protocols. And that's, as you said, there are some commonalities through these different devices, but they're not all the same. And every company has their own idea of what's necessary.
Yeah, there is a set of protocol obviously out there that you have to go through, right? There's standards that are built into all these things, but again, not everything is the same, as you know. So, but Thomas, we're talking about 30 minutes, right? You're 30 minutes with the customer. A lot of times could be shorter, could be a little bit longer, but let's talk about after 30 minutes. Customers using it for a while. They maybe have questions. Where do they go? What do they do? How do they get to you?
Yeah. So I give them a card when I leave, and that card has your network name and password, what we decided. And like I said, you can change that when I leave. But that card on there has 2 phone numbers, our Stanton office and our Villisca office, but they ring the same place. It's the same people that answer them. And that'll get you to a list that can shoot you, you know, do I got a question about my bill? Do I have a question about technical support with my internet? You know, do I have something about outside plant, you know, portion of it? And we can get you fielded to talk to the right people to answer the right questions that you have. And it's one of them situations we're back to what happens after that installation is our service. You know, you call in, you're going to talk to somebody sitting in Southwest Iowa. You're going to not sit on hold for 30 minutes before you talk to a real person. You're not talking to a robot. You're talking to your neighbor. You know, you're talking to the next town over. You know, along them lines. So our service is where it's going to be, and talking to real people that actually care about your issue and want to fix it and want to help you out.
And there's a lot of value to that. And I mean, I'm not taking digs at overseas call centers. It's not
Right.
that. But what a person overseas can't do is relate specifically to what things are going on with you right then. And if that connection is not there, then it adds another layer of difficulty into solving that problem.
It really does, Todd. And you know, I mean, I'm kind of a newcomer here to FMTC, but the one thing that I love about this company is, you know, we all want to have the best prices. We all want to have the fastest speeds. We all want, right? What people really want, I feel like, is just exactly what Thomas is talking about. What's the service level? You know, I'm 30 minutes into your home after we get you already, you know, pre-wired and everything is ready to go. And here comes Thomas. He's going to get you service up and ready in 30 minutes. He's going to talk you through the process hand to hand, right? And kind of help you through all of that. And then you have questions later on, and there are people in the office that are ready to take the calls. They're ready to give the service. You know, if it's a $50 plan or a $60 plan, how much are you getting for $60? We feel like we're giving you a really great price because the service is really what you're buying at that point.
For me personally, and hearing the stuff that you're talking about, it's about my stress level and my anxiety level when it comes to dealing with this. Are you raising my anxiety or are you lessening it?
Exactly.
And for me, it's my business philosophy that my job is to lessen anxiety. And I think that any successful business, if they can do that, then people are just naturally going to gravitate toward you.
Yeah. No, I feel the same. And, you know, it just came from an event today where we talked about cybersecurity with one of the local libraries in Southwest Iowa. Had several people that showed up to it asking questions about cybersecurity, things that can be helpful, things that, you know, what should I do? What shouldn't I do? What should I look for? What shouldn't I look for? Should I actually delete this email? Should I keep going on it? You know, do I, you know, all the different things that you can do with cybersecurity. You know, that's, again, another service advantage, I think, of working with a local company. There's people that are not going to come into your local libraries and do that from a big company. They just will not, you know. So, again, what's $50 or $60 buying you a month? It's buying you information. It's giving you information in a timely manner. It's getting you connectivity in a timely manner. I mean, that's, to me, that's the beauty of FMTC and what they do. And guys like Thomas and everybody else behind the scenes are, you know, what make that all happen. It's pretty cool.
How far out is your service area? I mean, how far do you have to travel in order to get somebody out? Honestly, I don't know just how far, because you're always expanding, so I don't know how far you're going.
Yeah, I don't have an actual mileage, you know, how many miles of fiber we have in the ground, but, you know, there's days that I am 15 miles north of Red Oak and that I'm all the way to the Missouri border south of Bedford. So it's not uncommon for me to spend an hour in my pickup, you know, driving job site to job site, but if you really think about same time, that's really not that big of an area. And at that area is, you know, served by a small group of people. You know, we pride ourselves on quality work, and that is given by about 40 people in this company. And so that's why a lot of jobs are outsourced. You know, we have to hire contractors to assist us in this stuff, get this project done, keep things moving, you know, to keep to a rate to continuing to serve more and more people.
It's very important that we have companies like FMTC in Southwest Iowa and in that service area, because this is how we grow communities. This, by being able to have services local and knowing that the dollars that are spent with FMTC are then going to be turned back around and spent in other communities, and it's a way to grow everything. It's the economy part of this is a completely separate subject that we could go really deep into, but it's necessary, and that's why when you gave me a call, Alan, and you said we got this idea and we'd like to come talk to you about it, I thought, yeah, this is right in my wheelhouse, because this is the type of thing that I believe we all should be supporting.
Yeah, I mean, if people don't support these things locally, they go away,
Yeah.
right? I've always talked about, supporting the Adams County Speedway or the Sydney, Iowa Rodeo or the Montgomery County Fair or the Page County Fair or any of the fairs within those counties that we serve. If there aren't companies available to do these types of things and help, because our customers are the ones that are utilizing these services at the fairs, at the racetrack, at the rodeos. If we're not supporting that and helping promote those as well, they're going to go away for some time down the road. Well, if your economy continues to keep dying because there's not these things available, people want to leave. They don't want to stick around. They want to go to those places that have those events that they can go to. And so it's important that, we support local, and it's important that local supports us, and we make it all work together and try to keep the evolution of what's happening within the confines of Southwest Iowa.
And you get fiber laid into your house, and you wonder, is FMTC going to be around? Well, for 125 years, I guess that I'm assuming you're going to make 126. I think you got the track record.
I think we're going to make it. Yeah,
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another point to add, Alan. It's not only we're serving the community between 8 and 4:30. If you look at our employees and look at the people that are involved in our organization, they're your coaches that are at high school events. There are people refereeing games. They're city council people. Might be supervisors. They're your fire department members. You're going to recognize them when they come out and see you in their work clothes, but you're always going to recognize them also in their personal life.
Man, I did an episode on this. You sound just like what I was talking about. I mean, seriously, it's just dead on that the folks that are working for FMTC, they are your neighbors. They are the other people that you have in your lives. You might see them across from you in church. You might see them at the grocery store, everywhere else. This is why supporting local is so important. And it's why what you guys do is incredibly vital to the health of the entire region, not just inside of Stanton, not just inside of Villisca, but everywhere across the region and what it is that you're doing. And that's why I'm thrilled to be a part of this thing and just to help spread the information a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great venue for sure. And it's, as our tagline goes, connecting people to the world, and that's how important that is to FMTC. I know, we've had that discussion before, but it's a big piece of FMTC is connectivity. It's not only connecting you through internet, it's connecting you through the personal lives that we all share and want to be a part of in Southwest Iowa and around. So, it's a big part of what we do, who we are, and these guys here are fantastic at what they do. I mean, you guys go out and do a great job. I know we hear comments every day that come through the office about very professional, did a great job. That was the guy with the beard that showed up to my house today. But it's exciting to see those people come in. They do an excellent job, and the support behind it as well is just amazing. So,
well, as an idea of how long Thomas is going to come into your house for installation, it's about a 30-minute episode. So just about that. So from the time that we started this show until we reach the end of it, that's about how long he's going to be there, and it goes by pretty fast. And you have to be efficient in order to be able to do that. You have to be knowledgeable. So you got the right guys in the area and plugging all the right people in. So you well done on that as well.
I've done nothing. I just showed up here to talk about it today. These guys do the work. We just come here and spread the word. So that's all good stuff.
Well, Alan DeBolt, Thomas Bates, thanks again for your time today. Thanks for the information that you're sharing and for the work that you're doing. We're grateful that you're part of our communities, and we look forward to learning even more as the weeks to come.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having us.